Hey, what's going on? Welcome. Thanks for joining me. This is RJ's Cave, and this time around, guys, we are going to be we're going to be giving a little love to my LTD EX-50. Why? Well, because when I give her a little love and attention by playing her, she gives me a little love and attention by demanding guitar strings. So we're going to do a string change. This is a good opportunity for us, though, because this will be the first time on the channel that we're able to do a tunematic style two-piece bridge and tailpiece combo. All right. And for those of you that have done this kind of string change already, stick around because I know 3 different ways. I'm going to be explaining 3 different ways people wrap the strings and why they do that. All right. We'll be doing that by the end of the video. So stick around for that. All right. Now, what kind of parts, what kind of stuff do we need, right? We need guitar strings. We're going to be doing the D string or the 4th string of the guitar. Why? Because I've already tried to do this video twice and screwed it up. So the guitar has 2 new strings on it. So we're going to the D string. All right. Hopefully 3rd time's the charm. Because from here, the strings get a little harder to see because they're all unwound. So, all right. We also are going to need cutters. Okay. And the string winder. All right. This is what that looks like. All right, goes over the tuner, you spin it around. It's pretty loose. Let's see, there we go. Maybe it doesn't go quite that fast. Anyway, you're going to need a tuner with a cable, unless you're going to be using one of these. Perfectly fine to use, but this type is a little more accurate, so I'm going to be using this. Just because. So, I'm going to go over and plug this in so we have it ready to go. All right, so we did the tune, we did this. Yeah, we got everything. Okay. Sorry, just double checking everything. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I want to adjust you guys a little bit, and you're going to probably get a little bit of a shot of what else is in my cave. Don't look at that box on the bed. That is something for later, for another video. Coming very soon after this one. All right. So now that we're over here, I am going to unwind the D string. I'm just going to loosen it up with this. And as soon as it gets loose enough, I'm just going to pull it off. All right. Because we don't have it all the time. All right. So now, the way I wrap these strings, it can be a little tricky to pull them out, but it's worth it for me in the long run. Although, of course, every time I try to do it on the video, it proves to be difficult. There we go. All right. So now, pull it out this way. Sorry, you didn't get to see that. All right, now I'm gonna bring you guys this way, and hopefully okay. Now, we got the 4th string, the D string, and I'm going to put it on. Now watch how I wrap this. We'll be talking about this more as we get closer to the end of the video. All right, so I run it through this way, bring it all the way through, then I loop it under. And then I wrestle with having to pick it up in the in the middle here. There we go. A little tricky. Finally got that, guys. Sorry about that. This is not normally what happens to me, but I guess just because I'm doing the video, right? So, of course, it's got to happen. It's the only thing that makes any sense, right? Sometimes this wants to push out as I pull this last little bit tight because it's got the windings on it and all that. So I just hold that in there real quick, pull it tight. This one should be easy because it's the D string and not the big fat E string. Now, you see how I wrap that, right? Remember that for later. Now, what I do over here is I make sure it's in the saddle, which it is right here. And then I make sure it's in the nut. Right? But before I do all that, I bring it up to the top of the string post. Okay? And then I use the distance between string posts to measure a set amount of length, extra length of string. I go 2 string posts. Okay? And then I roll back just slightly, not even a 1/4 inch. All right, maybe a little more than 1/8, maybe a 1/4. So what that does is that it gives me enough length so that I have around 3 wraps, 2.5, 3, 4, somewhere in there, depending on the thickness of the strings. That's what you'll get. Now, there we go. There's the hole. Now I thread this through, and I loop it once by hand, and I do it so that the string loops in a manner that allows the string to be facing inside the tuner, not outside towards where the tuner button is, but inside where the wood is. All right, and that's where you want to go with this. All right. And while I do that, I try and keep the string as low as possible because I'm trying to make sure that there's no looseness on this loop near the point where the string is going into the post. Because if it's loose over there, it's just going to slide out. All right? I don't put that much through because then you have to cut all this excess. Some guys just pull it through and then loop it. I try to be a little neater than that, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, once I got one off, then I start winding with the winder. And I keep in mind that the string's got to be in the saddle while I'm making sure that it's also going into the nut. Once I get enough tension to keep it in its place, I start listening to the string's tone in relation to the thicker string next to it. I'm trying to match them, and then I know that I'm 5 tones away. Once I know I'm 5 tones away, I start taking a little slower, and I make sure that I am going to get to where I need to be. All right? See, now we're getting close. I'm 5 tones away. Now I'm going to turn on the tuner. All right. Now, hopefully you can see that. All right, for me it's backwards, but I think I can manage. So, we're flat still. And we're looking to be on this dot. That's how this tuner works. 3rd dot in. All right, we had a stretch. I had a slip. There we go. All right, that was weird. All right, so now we're above A again. B. So now we're getting to D. And this is where we want to be. Right, so that's okay. String stretch. All right, and that's what we're going to do next. For this, I go to the 12th fret and I hold it. I'm going to shift it just a little. Okay? I hold it at the 12th fret and I stretch over here. All right, and I'm holding my hand kind of like this. You know what? Let me see if I can turn it a little more. Get my other hand in there. There you go. All right. And now, when I check the tuner again, your position has changed, so I got to move this a little so it's in there. All right, we're all the way back down to A. Now that's B, and we got to get to D. All right. So we went a whole 5 tones down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So now we're going to stretch again. It won't be quite as far. All right. Now it still says we're on D, but we could actually, but we're flat on D, but we can be pretty flat. So, but we're getting closer. Here we go. See how fast I'm getting up there now? There we go. Now I do it again. And I do this until it doesn't really go flat. And I should be getting there now 1 or 2 more times after this. All right. Now while I'm doing all this, guys, don't forget, I'm going to be talking about what's going on back down here a little more in a minute. All right. So now, I went a little sharp, no problem. This should get it close. All right. So that's close. A little more. Yeah, see, it doesn't want to go out of tune now. And there you go. She's in tune. So, there you go. All right. So, that's it, guys. That's how you do a string change on the Tune Max style bridge. That's one way of doing it. That's called the wrap under. All right, that's basically what I call it anyway. The reason I do that, and I'm going to show you guys again, all right, is because the break angle on the strings is steeper. All right, this ensures that if you have any looseness in the saddles, that you don't get any buzzing. You get as much tension as possible on the strings, and it eliminates any possible buzzing. That helps when you have cheap bridges, but I also like it because it provides more string tension. All right. For me, I believe it does anyway. So, and a lot of other players do too. So, I like it that way. That's just me. I don't like my bends to be super slinky. Some people do, and in that case, they go the opposite way. They roll it over the top instead. All right, and the reason they do that is that they believe it provides, because of a less steep break angle, it provides a softer string tension. It's a little bit more slinky. So this is why they do that, right? Because it has that lesser break angle, so it's just that much less string. It's not for me. I don't prefer it because I feel like on any bridges that have any little imperfections that are going to cause buzzing, now it's going to be aggravating that. That's just me. Now the standard way, that's 2 ways, guys. I just told you 2 ways. Now we're going to do 1 more. The standard way is the way that Gibson and Gretchen, all those guys, the old school guys, pardon me, burp, my apologies. So the standard way is the way that the old school guys originally designed these guitars to do. So you go, instead of going through the front like I was doing, right, you're going through the back like you're supposed, that's basically what you're supposed to do, right? So you're going through the back and you have the standard break angle, which guys like me don't really like. And other guys, you know what I mean? The guys who like them wrapped over, they don't like it either. So that's what that's about. So there you go. I explained 3 different ways to wrap your strings. Okay. Also, that way at the top, there is you can consider a 4th, because that's a way of doing strings that is basically bass players do that. I started out as a bass player when I was younger, and that's how I learned to do bass strings, to make sure that I got enough string wraps, because the strings are so thick. That's why bass players do it that way. All right. For me, I like it now because it's neat, and I've been doing it a million times, so it's what I know. I didn't worry about learning any other ways. There are other ways to do it on the top too. You can loop around some of the wire on itself so that when you're winding, it pulls back on itself and kind of locks it in place. I never found a need to do that really. I think it would prevent some of that initial looseness that we experienced, but I don't know. But I've never really found a need for it. Some people like to do that, and that's fine. If you want to check that out, I'm sure there's plenty of videos you can check out on YouTube, here on YouTube about it. So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this one. If you want to check out another video on string changes, just click this box right here. All right, and don't forget, guys, when you click a box, you feed a guitar player. This guy. All right. Also, don't forget, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell, all that good stuff, guys, because that really does help the channel. We're young, we need to grow, and we need you to do that. So anything you do for us like that, we really, really appreciate. Thank you very much. Also, sharing and commenting, guys, that stuff's huge. But anyway, again, don't forget, click that box, feed a guitar player, all right? Anyway, this has been RJ's Cave. Thanks for being here, guys. Until next time, take it easy.